Hey y'all, Farmer Dre back at it. Today I am standing inside our warehouse. I haven't showed you guys our warehouse yet, but this is our packing line here. We're gonna make some, we gotta select some apples first because we keep them in the cooler, which is back in the back there, and we don't have a controlled atmosphere cooler, so they just sit there at 35 degrees all winter. And then it is June now, and we gotta clean out our cooler for peaches. They're gonna be ready in a couple weeks. So we gotta select through them. There's a lot of bad apples we gotta go through, but we throw out the bad apples, we feed the bad apples to the cows, and then we save the good ones, and we're gonna make them into cider, and then we're just gonna store them into a big tank until they turn into apple cider vinegar. We're probably gonna add some yeast to it to make it churn faster. So I'm gonna show you guys how our warehouse and how the packing line works. So if you guys stay tuned for that. If you guys haven't already, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, like this video. If you guys have any questions, comments, anything, let them down in the description box below. Don't forget to hit that little bell notification bell so you guys can be notified every time I do post a video. And you guys stay tuned. It's just a long day in the warehouse. It is drizzling outside, so that's what we're working inside today. So stay tuned. It's gonna be fun. Just us making a lot of cider. It's gonna get sticky up in here. So you guys stay tuned. So we are gonna make our last cider of the year. We actually have a lot of apples left. This is a 22 bushel bin. These are apples from last fall. We're gonna press them into cider. So these are the apples that we gotta pick. We pick all the bad ones, throw them out to the cows, and the good ones we put them into a big bin. And then we gonna make the last cider. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make vinegar out of these ones. And some guy wants 9 gallons of apple cider. We're gonna press it raw. We're not gonna pasteurize it. And then we are going to, I'm gonna show you guys how our conveyor belt works, how the packing line works, and then we're gonna go straight to the cider room. So there it is. I'm gonna explain all that in a bit. But we're gonna press into that. We're gonna make apple cider, and we're gonna put it in our storage tank, and we're gonna let it sit there and make it turn into vinegar. And we're gonna bottle it and then sell apple cider vinegar for the rest of the season. So it is June 5th or 6th today. These are apples that were harvested in September, and we were keeping them in the cooler there for a long time, and then we were pasteurizing it for a while, and then we had a few problems, and we quit making cider. So we got to clean out the cooler because peaches will be ready in a couple weeks, and we got to have the cooler ready up and running for the peaches. So we got to clean out the apples, and we decided instead of throwing them all away, we're going to press them into vinegar, and we'll see what we can do today. So. So these are not the best quality apples, but they're still pretty firm. I mean, we can still eat these and sell them, but we're gonna wash them. I'm gonna explain how the wash works in a second, but I gotta go and help out Adrian, my brother. We gotta go and clean some more apples out. So I'm gonna walk over here and we gotta help him out, and then I gotta clean the cider room. I'm gonna show you guys all that in a bit, but yeah, it's gonna be fun. Just another day of working inside the warehouse here. So this is our cider room here. Apples coming out of the warehouse through that door, up this conveyor belt into the grinder. This is the grinder itself. It grinds all the apples. Then we have some special trays over there. I'm going to show you guys that one we're actually pressing. And then we pull it forward, it presses it here into a big old container here. Actually, that one right there. And we pump it into the big tank. But right now we're doing unpasteurized cider. But whenever we are pasteurizing cider, we run it through this machine. It's a UV pasteurizer. It comes from the researchers made at Cornell University up in New York, and right now we're just going to bypass it since we're not really going to sell the product. We're just going to make it a self-stable product by making it into apple cider vinegar. This is our big refrigerator tank. It's an old milk tank, and it keeps it nice and cold. So I'm going to get to washing this, get it clean and sanitized, and we'll get to it. So now it is all washed and sanitized and ready to go. I got to turn on the cooler for this one, and I'm gonna go ahead and go in the warehouse and show you guys exactly how this sucker works. So then I'm gonna show you guys, explain to this how this works too. So I'm gonna head in the warehouse real quick and show you guys how it works. So the apples are right here. I am standing where the big bin is. The apples fall into here, and we got these fancy brushes here. But then I'm gonna actually go ahead and turn on the water here. And we have 2 lines of misters there. So whenever we do let apples through here, just like that, it washes them nice and clean. We can only do about a bushel at a time. It's washing. And then whenever we let them about a minute, but these are cider apples, so we don't leave them that long anyway. So just rinse them off, shove some more in there, and just keep them coming through here, trying to get the nasty goo off there. So over here we have the rinse. We usually have a piece of plastic or something there, but today we're not going to do that. So after the apples get rinsed and washed, then we shove them on. These are sponges that get dry. And if we were going to sell these apples, we would put a bushel or something in the seconds and we'll throw the seconds. But since we are making cider, we just let them continue going on down the line. And we got a bunch of fancy zip ties, because the small is usually farther here than the medium, then the large continue and goes through these troughs here. But since we're just trying to make apple cider, we're just going to shove them through and let them glide all the way through. We're not even going to grade these at all. So let them go through. Since cider apples, you don't care about the quality. You just care about the quality of the juice. So just like that. So the apples fall through here and right into the cider room, where we are gonna turn on this conveyor belt and then make them into cider. So we're gonna let this fill up here real quick until the hopper fills up. I'm gonna get in the cider room and show you guys how we start pressing. So I am standing outside. This is where we dump all the leftovers, the mesh. And this is all it is right here. It's just a bunch of dried, crushed apples pretty much. We just feed to the cows. They love it. It has no taste. I've tried it before. It's not very good at all. I mean, it just tastes like seeds and apple skins. So yeah, that's all left. We just feed to the cows. So we just got done pressing the cider, and now it is the funnest part of them all. It is time to clean up. Oh, look at all this mess here. We got a ton of mess everywhere. Just oh man, this everywhere. Clean it up all nicely. It's gonna look all nice and cool whenever we get done with it. So yeah, I'm gonna get the cleaning up. You guys stay tuned. It's a really sticky job. We didn't press that much. We only pressed about 80 gallons or so. But in the summertime or in the fall time, whenever we do have a lot of apples and a lot of orders going out, we usually press 5,000 gallons per week. But we just made 80 gallons now just to finish off the apples we had there in the cooler. Now we gotta go ahead and finish up, clean off the cooler, and get it ready for peaches. So we're just gonna leave this sit into here to become into vinegar, apple cider vinegar that we're gonna sell in our store here and at some of the farmers markets, so we can make a shelf stable product, so we can have it 365 days of the year. So anyways, enough of me talking. I'm gonna get back to work, and we gotta clean this up, and then we gotta go in the warehouse, wash everything up, make sure everything's good to go and ready to go for the summer. So you guys stay tuned. It's gonna be fun. So the cider room is clean now. Now I gotta go inside the warehouse and clean that up, make sure it's all nice and ready to go. So looking fancy, all nice, sparkly, all kinds of good stuff. Hard work pays off whenever it looks so good, whenever it's clean. Got done washing the floor inside the warehouse, and the drain's all there, looking good. The washer's all nice and clean, and yeah, gotta come through and maybe scrub some of these more, a little more. Definitely clean that up. It's gonna mold on us, but yeah, everything's looking pretty good now. So a few days has passed since we actually made this apple cider. As you guys saw the whole process of how we make our apple cider, that was the leftover apples we had in the cooler. So we cleaned out the cooler, and now we have we're bringing in some peaches from Southeast Missouri out of the Blue Hills. So the peaches are in the cooler now. But today what we're going to do is we're actually going to make some apple cider vinegar out of the cider we made. We actually bottled a few gallons for a customer. He wanted about 10 gallons. And we have about 40 gallons in this tank to make apple cider vinegar. My brother, Radeu, he's actually working on this project. If you guys want to check out the whole process, head over to our main channel at Gardens Orchard Baker on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook, on Instagram. And he posts stuff all the time about the vinegar and about stuff here on the farm. I'm going to link all that stuff about our farm in the description. So go ahead and follow our main farm channels, all of our social media there. So what we're doing today, we've got to add in some yeast and stuff. My brother Radeu, he's going to explain everything on that. And we've been working on this project with the vinegar for quite some time now. And we got two 55-gallon old bourbon barrels that have been sitting in the warehouse now for, I think, 7 or 8 months, or since the fall time. And I'm going to have my brother Radeu explain everything on that. So you guys stay tuned for that. We're going to make some serious apple cider vinegar here. These are the bourbon barrels that are full of apple cider from 7 months ago, 8 months ago. And these have been sitting in the warehouse for just sitting here at the room temperature. And as you guys can tell here, that's apple cider vinegar. We already measured it. It's past its whatever you call it. My brother here, Radeu, he's going to explain everything. He's the big boss around all this stuff. If you guys follow our social media, he's the brains behind everything here. So
this is probably one of our second experiments here on the farm. So these are old bourbon barrels. So last season we were making cider, and then we try to see what we can do to extend the seasonality of our product. And said, you know what? What's a good way to turn bad apple cider into a good product that we can sell. So we decided to do apple cider vinegar. These are about, like Andre said, 7 months old. We tested the pH a few days ago, and we still have about another couple months of waiting. So I didn't do anything to these. We just let these kind of let nature do its own natural process. The alcohol is gone, so it's all been processed. But what we're working on today is we're starting a new batch to the left, the 40 gallons that are left over. So let's go check out and see what we're doing there. All right, so we're here in our cider pressing room, like Andre was showing you guys earlier. So we got about roughly 40 gallons. It's hard to measure in here because our gauge doesn't come all the way up. But we added some potassium metabisulfite or something like that. That acts as a sanitizer, so it kills any like mold or active bacteria that you don't want in here. So we added that about 48 hours ago. We should have put the yeast in it 24 hours ago, but we were out of town. But we're finally in here, so what we do is there's a special wine yeast that we use to make wine. Pretty much run the same process. Of vinegar is just a bad wine. So what we're doing here is completely different than those 2 bourbon barrels that we have in the warehouse sitting there. So this is going to be a more controlled, and it's going to be able to process the actual cider into a vinegar a lot quicker. So we're hoping to have vinegar out of this in like 5 to 6 months versus like a 9 to 12 month process with the bourbon barrel. So once we get this in here, we'll let it sit about 10 to 12 days, kind of let the yeast do its thing, eat up the alcohol. And then once that's processed, we'll test the acidity and alcohol level in here. And once all that's calm, then we'll go ahead and put it into another wooden barrel. And it's going to sit for 4 or 5 months. And then we'll test it about every 30 days to test acidity, pH level, stuff like that. So what I'm going to do here with Farmer Dre today is get this poured in here. And then he's going to pour, he's going to mix it all up. So I'm going to start pouring. And he's going to do the job here. We do science experiments. See, so the thing about being a farmer is you got to do a little bit of everything. There's not just, you know,
no, I get
not just farmers. We just do it all.
Fancy stick and woo-wee! Getting the job done, boys.
Let's do well. All right, so we got that put in there finally. So the secret about vinegar is you got to let it breathe. So this is an old milking tank. So I took off the plug, got some cheesecloth, set it, put a little. We come up with stuff. We don't have all the right tools, but guess what? Since this is a new project, we don't want to spend a lot of money. We just do it on our own. So yeah, cheesecloth, mason jar, lid thing, and then this is just a weight to hold it down. That's it. We're done. So yeah, we're always trying something to extend the seasonality here on our farm. Anything from, you know, the cider to vinegar. That's why the bakery is here. I do a lot of the business development here on the farm. Like Andre said, you guys can follow our main channel. We just talk about stuff we do on the farm. I don't post as much as Farmer Dre. But yeah, actually, let's go see some of the vinegar I started about a year ago. Let's go check it out. All right, so this is a jar that we started early cider season last year. Actually, no, this was bottled in here on 12/20, so it means like 4 months before that. So what you can see in there, you see kind of that gelatin stuff right in there? That's the mother. So now that I have mother developing, what happens is I can add this to that new batch of apple cider vinegar. And what this is going to do, it's going to help speed up that process. So even though I added the yeast, that's going to go ahead and kill that, or ferment that alcohol level. And then all of a sudden, once we add this and we move it into an actual containment where it's going to stay for 4 or 5 months, this is what's going to activate to get it done a lot quicker. So the older your mother is, the better flavor you have on your vinegar. So yeah, we got to be a little bit experimental, try new things, just like Andre tries new stuff out there with new growing systems. We're always doing something to develop new products out here. So we got to make money. I know Andre says that all the time, but as a business, you got to run the farm as a business if you want to be sustainable. We got 4 to 5 family members that work full-time here. So we always try to extend the seasonality. That's what we do. But yeah, thanks for coming along today. If you guys have more questions, want to see more about the vinegar, just let Farmer Dre know, and we will be more than happy to show you the whole process.
Yeah, so if you guys want, go ahead and show them some support on our Facebook page at Gardeners Orchard Bakery. And if you guys have any questions, ask him, because if you guys ask me, I'm like, I'm just gonna send it to his page. So go ahead and follow our main channel. We do a lot of cool stuff, a lot of farm update videos. I show you guys the process and how my kind of like my daily life. But on our farm channel on YouTube, we just do farm updates, which farmers markets we go to. That YouTube channel is mainly just for, you know, our local customers to let them know, you know, where we're at, where we're selling stuff. So I think that's going to be pretty much it for today. If you guys haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, like this video. That's how we make vinegar here on the farm. This is our first time making apple cider vinegar. It's a cool process, cool seeing things. I mean, we had, like Radeu was saying, we had a batch of cider that, you know, we pasteurized, and then we had some problems with the pasteurizer. So we were just going to throw it out, but then we were like, you know what? Why not try to save it instead of throwing it out, you know, because if you throw something out, you're losing money. So, and slowly and surely, you know, our customer base, we've been telling our customers now for about a half year, and they've been, you know, urgent to, you know, taste this apple cider vinegar, you know, farm fresh apple cider vinegar. So it's just making a self-stable product so you could be able to sell it 12 years out of the month, 12 months out of the year. So that's pretty much it for today. Go ahead and do all that good stuff. Like, subscribe, and comment down below. I want to say thanks for watching up to this point. You guys have a good day, and we'll see you next time.